Capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, is the sentence of death upon a person by the state as a punishment for offense. In the past, capital punishment was practiced by most societies, but now, however, only 58 nations still have it as an option, while 96 countries have abolished it completely, and the others have not used it in 10 years, allowing it only in special circumstances such as wartime.
The most common form of capital punishment is death by lethal injection, in which the prisoner is strapped down, sedated, and then injected with a chemical that causes cardiac arrest, thus killing the patient. However, the practice is not 100% effective, and in some cases, the death, that it's only supposed to take 15 minutes, has been drawn out longer, and in the meantime, the patient, although restrained, is visibly suffering. In addition, the cost of execution has been found to be almost 70% more expensive than life imprisonment, with prizes for one execution in Maryland costing approximately $3 million, while typically life imprisonment costs only $90,000 of taxpayers' money. In Texas, a death penalty case costs an average of $2.3 million, which is about 3 times the cost of imprisoning someone in a single cell at the highest security level for 40 years.
One of the biggest flaws in the use of capital punishment is in the legal process that decides the sentence. In the United States, particularly in Texas, there has been discrimination and sometimes prosecution of an innocent suspect without proper evidence. In 96% of states where the death penalty is used, there have been patterns of race of victim or race of defendant discrimination. 98% of chief district attorneys for death penalty cases are white and only 1% are black, which has had effects in states like North Carolina, where the death sentence increased 3.5 times among defendants whose victims were white. And similarly, in California, those who killed whites were over 3 times more likely to be sentenced to death than those who killed African Americans, and over 4 times more likely than those who killed Latinos.
The racial discrimination that takes place has led to conviction of innocent people, like Troy Davis, who was convicted and killed without valid evidence, due to decisions by the jury. There has been much protest to the death penalty because of situations like this, and with reason. Experts have found that capital punishment actually has no effect on lowering the crime rate in the states that apply it. So the South, the biggest proponents of the death penalty, still have the highest murder rate, while the Northeast, which performs less than 1% of executions, has the lowest murder rate.
The foundation of all Catholic social teaching concerns the sanctity of human life. As Catholics, we believe in the inherent dignity of a person from conception to a natural death, and that human life must be valued above anything else.
According to Catholic social teaching, because we are made in the image of God, human beings possess the dignity of a person who is not just something, but someone. We are capable of self-knowledge, self-possession, and freely giving ourselves and entering into communion with other people.
According to John Paul II, every person is called to a fullness of life which far exceeds the dimensions of his earthly existence, because it consists in sharing the very life of God.
As Catholics, we must respect the right to life that everyone has, no matter their past actions. It is not for us to decide who lives and who dies. That is in God's hands. So it is our responsibility to stop the vicious cycle of continued cruelty and killing.
The criminals that have been convicted suffer daily with the guilt that they have from killing another person. Adding to their suffering by having them await their execution only further torments them, sometimes leading them to suicide so that they don't have to suffer at the hands of others.
I guess stress on a person's psyche because you're living under a sentence of death. And that could weigh heavily on a person's mind. I mean, I've literally seen guys completely go insane.
Raise awareness. Tell others about the statistics that prove that the death penalty doesn't improve our quality of life or do its job in reducing the murder rates. There are other ways to enforce justice that doesn't involve killing.
Raise your voice. Write to your state representatives about using alternatives to the death penalty, like life imprisonment. Show the world that we are not murderers too.
Execute the death penalty.
Execute violence.
That anybody